Is it too late to start over if you're over 40, 50, 60? If you're asking me, I'm going to tell you absolutely not. And let me explain why. My whole thought process on life is that you are in control, right? You are the captain. You will decide where you're going, how you're getting there, what you're going to do, all of those things. And I believe that the only way you could ever feel like it's too late to start over is until you're in the ground. Okay. When they throw dirt on me, I might stop doing things. But until then, I think you always have the power to change your life and design it and pivot and do whatever you'd like on your own terms. That to me is the absolute key to happiness. And until you get to that point where you believe that your definition of success is the only thing that will define what's important to you and will help you decide which direction to go and what to do next, you'll be searching, right? And I meet a lot of people that are clients and that are friends and family that are constantly in this mode of search. And they're looking to find their purpose. And I actually wanted to create this video because someone was talking to me about how to find their purpose, when they're a little bit older. And I don't think age matters. Number one, I think you can be a fun person at a young age. I think you can be a fun person at an old age. I think you can be a staid, boring person at a young age and at an old age, right? It's just that we're moving through life. We might have a little bit more wisdom than other people, depending on what age bracket we're in, right? So the most important thing I want to say about this is to remember that you are on a journey. Okay. You're in control, right? We are living life on our own terms. Now, I know that there are a lot of us out there that are, in marriages we don't want to be in, or in friendships that we loathe, and, you talk badly about the person when they're not around or whatever. I've seen the gamut of things where people are doing things that they are unhappy with. Like they don't even love what they're doing. They don't love being around the people they're around, but they're still showing up, right? They're still doing these things. And my thought process is, no, you can't give up on everything and everybody, but you can absolutely take control of what you have control over, which is you and living your truth, right? And designing your life. And so when I hear people talk about finding their purpose, it actually grates on me a lot because I want you to shift that mindset. I'm going to talk to you all about that in today's podcast because it is something that is so incredibly important for a mindset shift on how you're going to go through the rest of your life, that I think that it deserves its own specific podcast. So before I jump into that, I want to first off welcome Fierce Visionaries. Thank you guys so much. Welcome back to the Practice Your Perfect podcast. I'm Ashley Tate. If you're new here to this space, my goal is really to help people just like you design a more profitable, purposeful, and productive life so that we can stay on our goals, stay fierce on those goals, and practice our way to success. Now, the key with your purpose, right? Like finding your purpose. It grates on me. I don't know why, because I don't believe that you're going to find your purpose. I don't believe that we're on a mission to find what we're good at, right? Like we're finding something that's going to fulfill us. The idea behind purpose for me is that you live on purpose, right? You are doing things with intention. Everything you do has a purpose. It's with an intention. We're not just like going through life and things are happening to us and, we're in things that we're unhappy about. We're hanging with people we're not happy with, we're doing things we don't agree on, right? Or agree with or whatever. Like we're finding alignment. And in that alignment, when you're finding that alignment, you're living on purpose because you're making intentional decisions based on that alignment, right? How things align with you and your values and your priorities and all of those things. So that's why I really have a problem when people say finding your purpose. I just want you to focus on living on purpose. And it's a whole different mindset shift, right? It's that you have been living on purpose, right? I've talked about that loaf of bread where everything you've done in your life has given you some sort of feedback, given you some sort of information about yourself, right? Like you look at yourself like you're research and development, right? Like life is research and development. That's what you do. You do something, you get some feedback, it gives you a little bit of information about yourself, and then you go and you improve that as you learn about yourself. But a lot of us are going through life not even understanding ourselves, not even understanding what we want. You haven't taken the time to discover what it is that you want and what you love and what you want to do. We're doing things for other people, right? Especially women. I think we do a lot of things for other people, and then we wake up and, after our kids are gone and they've graduated from high school, a lot of people go through a really tough time. And my kids are not gone yet, so I'm talking about something that I don't know, but this is what I see. Like when I think of my daughter and my son going off to college, they're both in high school right now. My daughter's going next year. When I think of them going off to college, I'm excited. I'm excited because I feel like it's the new chapter of her life. It's the new chapter of his life, right? Like they're going on to live their best lives. And I'm always going to be there to support them. I'm always going to be there to guide them. But that's not my life, right? My life is something completely different. And what I love to do is different from what they love to do and what they're going to become and what they're going to do. And so sometimes I think we kind of mesh those two together where we are so focused on what we want them to become, what we want them to do, that we don't allow them to really just be who they are and come alongside them to help them be the best person that they can be. I talk about this a lot because, when I talk about that loaf of bread, when I was 17, I have told this story before, but when I was 17, I wanted to go to the military and I did it for a different reason than I wish I had done it. But I did it because I wanted to get married. I thought I wanted to marry this guy. I was really into him. He was like my high school sweetheart. Like I was all about it. And then when I ended up going to the military, it really opened my eyes. I mean, I was 17. I just graduated high school. My mom was like, absolutely, you can go. She's like, I'm going to sign for you, but you can get married, all these things. But what she did say to me before I was able to get married and all of these things was, if you want to get married, that's fine, but you have to have a skill. And I was like, okay, I understood. Like she wanted me to have a skill so I could take care of myself if something were to happen. Totally get it. So I went and I joined the military at 17. And I will tell you that it's one of the best things that I did. And it's a huge part of my story and who I am and what I do and how I think and all these things. But I was doing it with the intention to marry someone, but that didn't end up being that part of my journey on purpose, right? Like when I got in there, it opened my eyes to a lot of things. It exposed me to a lot of different people, a lot of different thinking, a lot of different experiences, everything, right? That started to really shape who I was and who I was going to become. But that person that I was, so focused on when I was that age no longer became that important. And I honestly believe that my mom knew this, and that's why she encouraged me to go to the military. It was just like a change of scenery, and it was going to open my eyes to a lot of things. So I say that because there are things in your life that when you're living on purpose with whatever the purpose of the intentionality is, that's why you're making these decisions, right? You're doing things on purpose. You are literally making a decision on purpose. You're not just doing things because that opportunity is there, like you've made the decision for a reason. And I think when we talk about starting over at over 40 or starting over 50 or 60, if you've never been making those decisions on purpose, then you are looking for something to find your purpose. And all I'm trying to say is you don't necessarily have to find anything. You just have to start being intentional about the decisions that you're making and why you're making them. So in the personal vision management plan, I talk a lot about your kudos, right? Your known ultimate destination of success. You may not know where you're going to end up in 20 years. You may not know what you're going to end up doing, 5 years from now. But if you don't know, you can always look back to see what you did do, what you loved doing, what brought you joy, what brought you some fulfillment, right? And you can start to reinvigorate those feelings, or bring those feelings back up again by maybe starting to do that again. And who knows what that thing will lead to. So let's just say you love pickleball. Okay, you used to love pickleball years ago, and then maybe you went through a messy divorce and you let pickleball go and you let yourself go, whatever it is. If pickleball was a thing that gave you joy, and that's the last thing you can point to that gave you some sort of fulfillment, then go do that again. Start there. Like if you don't have a starting point, you don't know like, oh, I want to start this, but I'm afraid. I want to start this, but I don't know where to start. If you're not starting with, I want to start this, but that means you may not know what you want to start, and that's okay. But what you do want to start, when you're looking to find what you want to start or something that brought you joy, you look back to your old experiences and look to what was bringing you joy, what brought you fulfillment, when were you happiest? When were you the happiest? That feeling, you can recreate these feelings, right? And you start there and then you move forward. That's where you start. You have to take a couple steps back so you can move forward, right? And that's kind of where this whole idea of finding your purpose, when you think you're trying to search for something, but you don't know what you're searching for, that's maddening, right? It's frustrating. It makes you feel helpless, right? Like, can you imagine trying to find something in a drawer or in your house, but you don't know what you're trying to find? So you're going through every drawer, opening all the doors, going into closets, doing all these things, but you have no idea what you're trying to find. It's maddening. And that's what it feels like when people tell me I'm trying to find my purpose. And I always tell them, you already are living on purpose. You just need to decide. First off, take some time to figure out what your ultimate vision is, your known ultimate destination of success. Figure out what that might be. Like, give yourself some time to reflect and think about the things that you might want to do. And I always tell people, think really big. Like, it doesn't matter. Maybe you want to be a guitar, artist or whatever. And you've never picked up a guitar, but maybe that's something you want to do. It's okay. It's a decision point, right? It's a starting point. You think that's what you want to do, so you start. You may get into guitar and realize, my fingers hurt after doing that for a few hours. I don't think I really love that anymore. And that's okay. You make a pivot, but you took some action and you moved forward and you made a decision and you were intentional and you moved forward. That's the same thing with the military. I don't know if I was supposed to go into the military. Maybe I should have gone directly to college. I don't know. But making that decision and taking that action got me further than sitting in my room and thinking about how I'm going to do something, how I have nothing to do. I don't know what to do, all these things. You have to make a decision and take some action, and it requires intentionality when you're going to do this. So I had some notes and I just started kind of riffing off the cuff, but that really is the whole point, right? You're not even starting over really. You're just continuing your journey. You're continuing your journey with intentionality, with a decision, right? It's even down to the point of when you're hanging out with someone, you should be asking yourself, do I like this person enough to go to lunch with them? Do I want to go to lunch with this person? Do I feel good after I'm with this person? You should be asking yourself, are these things fulfilling to me? When I'm doing whatever it is that I'm doing, are they fulfilling? And you'll be surprised at the answers that you actually get if you allow yourself to stop and think about what these things mean to you. And when you're over 40, 50, 60, 70, like, you don't have time to mess around and BS with people, right? Like, you don't need to do that, because you just don't need to. I don't even have a reason for you. You just don't need to do that anymore. You didn't need to do it in your 20s, but we just didn't know. We didn't realize that we didn't have to do that. And so really, I think finding purpose is less about looking for purpose and searching for your purpose and discovering your purpose. And it's more about making a decision and deciding to do something on purpose with intentionality. That's where purpose really comes in. And that's what it's really all about. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got something from this. This was really just something that I wanted to talk about because I think it's motivating. I think it's a mindset shift that all of us could use from time to time. That you don't have to find your purpose. That's not what this is about. Life, in my opinion. Life is about living on purpose. And as you make those decisions with intention, you will find what makes you happy, right? You will find what brings you true happiness. You will find fulfillment. It's like you will happen upon it. It's not something that you're actually searching for, that you're going to find because you decided to make a concerted effort to search. And if you really don't know, then you just go out and make a decision to try new things. Just try. It doesn't matter what people think that you're out there trying a whole bunch of different stuff. I don't know what people think of me. I'm trying different things all the time, and it's random. But some of those things actually hit and they become successful. Okay. So it's not up to you to explain yourself to other people why you're doing what you're doing. It's up to you to make decisions that are based in intentionality and that are based in what you feel is going to make you happy and what's going to make you feel good about yourself. And it's going to make you feel like you are discovering a passion. And that's where I think the finding part comes in. Like if you want to find something, you might find a passion along the way. But when it comes to your purpose, purpose really just comes from intentionality, doing things on purpose. And that's why I talk about designing your life and business on purpose. Everything you do, you should have a reason why you're doing it. You should know how this fits into your plan, right? Because you decided, you made a concerted effort to decide. That is the most important part of starting over, no matter what age you're in, right? No matter what part of your life you're in. It should all be a decision. Are you going to the party tonight? Possibly. Are you going to the party tonight? Yes, I'm making a decision to go to the party tonight, right? Are you going to start playing pickleball? Yes, I'm going to start playing pickleball because I want to, because I made the decision. It really just, purpose is just taking control, deciding that you're in control and not doing things because other people want you to do it or because you were guilted into it or because everybody else is doing it. It's not about that. It's about taking control and making a concerted effort to decide and think about how it fits into your grand scheme of life. And if it's something that is in alignment with what's the most important to you, right? Your values, your priorities, like your family, like the things that mean something to you, everything that you're deciding should essentially be compared to that or in alignment with those things, right? So it's really figuring out what's most important to you, and is that something that you want to do? Does it align with the things that are actually important to you? So I'm done. But I really hope that this helped. Okay. I hope that you guys get where I'm coming from, that it doesn't really matter, it doesn't matter. Yeah. The other stuff that people are talking about and doing and what people might think of you, all those things, it just doesn't matter. And don't let fear hold you back. Understand that you're making a decision, you're taking the action, and you're going to move forward. Let's go. Okay. Now start practicing these and your future self will thank you. Now get out there and unleash your something amazing. I will see you guys next week. Bye.